welcome to today's ceremony. Today, we pay tribute to Chief Master Sergeant John Olding on the occasion of his retirement from active duty in the United States Air Force. We are honored today to have Colonel Bruce Edwards, Commander of 355th Medical Group, presiding over today's ceremony. I am Master Sergeant Angela Blue, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given cues to rise and be seated at the appropriate time. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party, the posting of the colors, the singing of our national anthem by Master Sergeant Carter, and the invocation by Chief Overding's brother, Mr. Rock Overding.
Post the colors. And by. Color. And flip. Right shoulder. Huh. Hold. Huh.
At the request of Chief Overding, please join me in singing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh. Huh. Step. Colors. Colors time. Punch.
Lord of all the nations, you created all things with your powerful word and your rule over everything in heaven and on earth. We thank you and praise you on this special occasion for the watching over Chief Master Sergeant John Overding in his 30 years of military service in the United States Air Force. We thank you for using John to protect the precious freedom of his country and for giving him a supportive wife and children, which allowed him to do his duty to the best of his ability. We also ask that you watch over those who continue to serve in our nation's armed forces, as you've watched over John, especially those who serve at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, so that this country may remain the land of the free and the home of the brave. Lord, you have promised your people, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Be with John and his family in retirement as they embark on this new chapter of their lives. Bless them and comfort them. Assure them that you will follow them wherever they may go. Most importantly, keep their faith in you strong, so that after enjoying the freedom of this country, they can enjoy the freedom of living with you for all eternity in heaven. We pray this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, Mr. Oldfield, for that inspirational invocation, and Master Sergeant Carter, the beautiful rendition of our national anthem. This afternoon, we celebrate Chief Overding's career. We welcome some very special guests. I ask that you please hold your applause until all names have been announced. Chief Master Sergeant Overding's wife Sylvia and their children Mark and Peter, Colonel Edwards' wife Anne, Chief Master Sergeant Overding's father George Overding, his sister Mary and niece Erica Nelson, his brothers Lance and Rock, his in-laws Frank and Maria Esterly, his cousin Christina Eveley and her husband Jim, Chief Overding's former commanders Colonel Retired Linda Eaton and her husband, Colonel Retired John Latini, Colonel Retired Brent McClinney, Lieutenant Colonel Retired Patricia Merrill, Lieutenant Colonel Retired Joanne Parks and her husband Kevin, former 355th Medical Group Superintendent, Chief Master Sergeant Retired Richard Coyle, former 355th Medical Group First Sergeant, Senior Master Sergeant Jennifer Anthony and her husband, Chief Master Sergeant David Anthony, former 355th Medical Support Squadron Superintendent, Chief Master Sergeant Angela Gagliano, good friends and former Air Force service members, Colonel Retired Richard Finlayson and his guest, Becky Galvin, Chief Master Sergeant Retired Eric Kessler, Chief Master Sergeant Retired Rick Pasamonte and his wife, Maria, Senior Master Sergeant Retired Elvin Sanders and his wife, Chief Master Sergeant Retired Carol Sanders, Mr. Vic McRory, Dr. Mark Vogel and his guest, Anna Dooley, Chief Master Sergeant Retired John Leahy and his guest, Myra Kelly, Mr. Ryan Halstead, Mr. Kevin Kennedy and his wife, Lauren, local friends, Dan and Penny Gebhardt, Adina and Rich Gutierrez, Mike Klinicki, Anastasia Anastasios, and Steo Satsakis. Former Las Vegas neighbors and good friends Dwayne and Cindy Moses and their daughter and grandson Nettie and Jacob Quaintance. Representing the 355th Fighter Wing Commander, Colonel Greg Williams. Chairman of the Military Affairs Committee, Ms. Ellen Jimenez. And finally, we welcome commanders, chiefs, superintendents, first sergeants, and all the men and women of the 355th Medical Group. Thank you all for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present our presiding officer, Colonel Bruce Edwards. Sir, the floor is yours.
Well, good afternoon. First of all, can you guys hear me in the back?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. This is going to be a couple things. Number one, it's going to be brief. Number two, I'd like to say thank you. First of all, thank you to all the friends and family that are here. I'm not going to go through that whole list again, but we have John Overding's family. They came here from Minnesota, from Cincinnati, from South Carolina, and Phoenix. So that's a great honor for him and a great honor for us that you guys have made that journey, and I'd like to say thank you. For all of his former colleagues and friends, I'd like to say thank you for being here. This is a great day for us and a great day for John, and we're extremely proud of him, and we're glad that you could share this. For the men and women of the 355th Medical Group, Colonel Williams, Colonel Rod, thanks for being here. I can't tell you how important it is that you guys are here and how much it means to myself and John, so I want to say thanks. One of the most important thanks that I want to give, though, is to Mr. George Olderding. Sir, on behalf of the United States Air Force, I'd like to say thank you for loaning us your son for the last 30 years. He's a fine American, he's done a great job, and we are proud of his service. We're going to give him back. He's got a little bit of wear and tear, a few scratches, but he is in serviceable condition and should be good for quite some time. But on behalf of the Air Force of the United States, a sincere thank you. You've done a great job, and you can be proud of it. For the folks here, especially some of the younger folks, as you sit out in the crowd, you may wonder, I wonder if I'll ever be a chief. I wonder if I'll ever be a colonel. I wonder if I'll ever attain that kind of rank or that kind of prestige. And I wonder if I'll find myself sitting up here on the stage. Well, the answer is maybe, and you can. One of the things that I'll tell you, I'm not going to go through Chief Olderding's career, because you're going to hear that when a little bit later in the ceremony, when they talk about his ranks and where he is and what he's done. So to keep it brief, I'm going to let you hear that later. But I can tell you that I looked at every single one of his 30 years with the EPRs. John, in all honesty, he hit the ground running, and he is a superstar. But he had a couple things along the way that challenged him. Every EPR that he ever had was not a firewall EPR. I will tell you one other thing. I read one from 1990 where the guy said, I think it was Staff Sergeant Olderding at the time. Staff Sergeant Olderding is striving to be a better supervisor, but he is challenged in his interaction with subordinates by his complete absence of tact. Wow. Now, I will tell you that one of the great things about the Air Force is that he took that to heart, he listened, he changed, he improved, he overcame, and obviously he's been phenomenally successful. So he learned from it. So what I'm trying to tell you is, not everybody hits the ground running day one as an Airman Basic and rises right to the top. It takes some time, and you need to grow, and you need to change, and you need to be able to adapt and continue to improve. And he is a great example of doing that. I would also tell you that I'm not sure he got rid of that absence of tact. We could ask some of the squadron superintendents and maybe Sergeant Anthony if she agrees. But he's at least been able to control it or manage it. So yes, every one of you could find yourself up here, and 30 years goes by in a heartbeat. So before you know it, you're going to find yourself up on stage saying goodbye to the Air Force. I would also tell you that I really don't like to call this a retirement. I really like to call this a celebration of his success. He is not nearly done. He has a lot of things to accomplish, and he's going to contribute to society in the United States through and take care of his family through a whole bunch of other means. We don't know exactly what they all are right now, but I'm sure that's going to happen. So he's not really, this isn't the retirement in the classical sense where he's going to go sit in a lawn chair, drink coffee, get old, and never do anything. He's still got a lot of stuff to do. So I think what this really is this is a celebration of his success. He has had a successful career, and he has totally gone out there and kicked ass. He's got awards from the beginning all the way to the end. He's accomplished a ton of stuff. He's had a ton of accolades throughout his time, and he's risen to the highest ranks in the enlisted force. So the one thing that he's avoided is being passed over or not getting selected for a rank, because unfortunately you're out of rank. You can't go any further. So you're 9-0. So congratulations. So I really don't see it like it's a retirement. I see it's a celebration of success. And like a lot of things, he's climbed to the top of the ladder, but there's two things at the top of the ladder. One of them is you have a lot more vision, and you can see a lot further, and you know what's out there, and you're a lot smarter. So you have a lot of experience and a lot of skill. But the other thing, typically at the top of the ladder, is a little platform and a ledge, and that's a great place to rest the bottom of the next one. So Monday, you can start climbing the ladder. Today and for tomorrow, you can celebrate getting to the top of this one. So this is really a celebration of success. It's not a retirement. The last thing that I'd like to say is as he's going through his out processing, he has to give some stuff back. You know, you got to turn some things in. You got to hand some stuff in. We're going to let him keep that snappy uniform and some of his ABUs and some other things. But there's a couple of other things that he gets to keep. And this is important for you folks out there. He gets to keep his education. All his degrees, all his diplomas, and all his education that he's gotten through the Air Force is 100% valid, and it's not what I want to say. It doesn't age, it doesn't expire. A degree is a great thing to have, and he gets to take every bit of that with all its worth and take it home. The other thing that he gets to take home, and that he does not have to turn in, is his experience. He started off in Sin City up in Vegas, and then he has crisscrossed the globe, but more importantly, he has crisscrossed the world. He spent time in Europe, he spent time in Japan. He and his family have seen all kinds of things, and that experience, both in seeing the world and in his job, he gets to take that complete, untouched, and carry it out of here the last day he walks off this base as a member of the active duty Air Force. The last thing that he gets to take away, that nobody will ever take away from him, is starting today, he gets to join the ranks of George Washington and all the other people that followed, because we can call him a patriot. We're not going to say that he's an active duty member or retired member or anything else, but for the rest of your life, you will be a patriot in the United States, and the people of the United States owe you a debt of gratitude for your service. You've kept us safe, you have done your job, and you have not faltered during your watch. So you, the rest of your life, can confidently say that you're a patriot. And I am extremely proud of that, and I can't tell you thanks enough. So, congratulations on your success. Congratulations on being a patriot, and I wish you the best in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Edwards. Colonel Edwards and Chief Overby, would you please get center stage, please?
Wait a second. I told the chief that I'd come up here and I'd cry for a second, so I'm going to try to over it. All right, now he's clear hot. All right, sorry, I forgot that in my discussion.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the medal presentation.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Chief Master Sergeant John J. Olberding distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Group Superintendent, 355th Medical Group, 355th Fighter Wing, Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, Arizona. During this period, Chief Olberding's passion for duty and visionary leadership positively impacted every aspect of the Fighter Wing's mission. Having been selected to lead the Wing's resiliency efforts on short notice, he quickly coordinated resources for a base-wide traumatic stress brief, following 5 Wing deaths in a 1-month period. Additionally, his decisive direction was instrumental in the coordination of medical coverage in support of 82 sorties flown during the 2012 Air Combat Command's Heritage Flight Training Course, which certified 18 demonstration teams to perform at air shows across the United States, ensuring the safety of millions of spectators nationwide. Finally, a quantitative measure of Chief Olberding's legacy of mentorship can be summated by the 6 Fighter Wing, 3 Base, 1 12th Air Force, 9 Air Combat Command, and 3 Air Force Medical Service awards during his medical group tenure. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Chief Olberding culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, we will present Chief Olverding with several tokens of appreciation for his service to our country. The first is a certificate of retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America, which reads, "To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Chief Master Sergeant John J. Olverding, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of June 2014. Signed by the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General Mark Welch, and the 355th Fighter Wing Commander, Colonel Kevin Blanchard." Next is a certificate of appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force that reads, "I am proud to join your friends and family in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. The achievements and contributions you have made throughout your career are indicative of the core value of our great service. Your retirement is well deserved, but your selfless contributions will be sorely missed. On behalf of all airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes and a new one begins, I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success." Signed, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, James A. Cody. Next is a letter of appreciation from the Command Surgeon, Air Combat Command that reads, "Dear Chief Olverding, the men and women of Air Combat Command join me in congratulating you on your distinguished service to our nation. Your varied assignments are more than a summary of your experience. They are also a reflection of your success. I extend to you and your family best wishes as you begin a new chapter in your life. You will always be part of our family, and I look forward to your continued success as a retired member of our Air Force. I wish you much happiness and success in the years ahead." Signed, Brigadier General Daniel O. Wyman. Chief Olverding also received numerous letters, certificates, and gifts from the current and past presidents, commanders, and civic leaders. While not formally presented, the significance of these gifts and recognition is vast and representative of Chief Olverding's devotion to duty. These items will be on display for viewing during the post-ceremony reception. At this time, Colonel Edwards will make a presentation on behalf of the 355th Medical Group.
So, this is at Chief Olverding's request, and this is kind of the shadow container grande. It's actually, it works. We drop this. You ready?
Chief, your military friends wish to present you the Shadow Box, which culminates your long military career. Enclosed is the military member's most prized possession, the United States flag. This flag was flown during a combat search and rescue mission aboard the United States Air Force HH-60G Payhawk helicopter, 89-26197, from Kandahar Airfield, Afghanistan, on 4 January 2013, in honor of your retirement. Accept it and protect it, and ever remember that the young men and women you trained, guided, and inspired will follow in your footsteps to defend it with your honor. Chief Olverding, good luck and Godspeed. ask Chief Master Sergeant Wilkinson to come forward to present a gift on behalf of the Desert Lightning Team Chiefs Group.
Get all the chiefs. Come on, Chief Lee, Chief Kessler. Come on.
Well, I'm an ammo guy and I can't add, but there's at least like 25 chiefs up here who have like at least 8,000 years of experience, right? This is, I don't get to do this often again. When did you come in, John? 1984. Yeah, this is the second time today I get to say this. I was still in high school. No, we're all treated John for 3 decades military service. Would like to present you with your traditional Indian Trail statue. Simple yet hopefully meaningful for you on behalf of the past, present, and future DOT Lightning Chief. Thank you.
Colonel Retired Brent McClinney, would you please come forward for your presentation?
Chief Olberding, then Senior Master Sergeant Olberding, was my superintendent at Dakota. When I was a first-time commander, he did 2 things very well. He kept me on task and out of jail. I'm eternally grateful. Since that time, I've retired and I'm working for the VA Medical Center and have had the privilege of working on a lot of our proud heroes and the ones that have served before. Last week, I was speaking to one about Chief Olberding. People want to call him Senior Master Sergeant Olberding because over here. But about Chief Olberding, about his character, his leadership, and how much he meant to me. And then I mentioned that I was coming to DM, and he smiled and he said, "I've got a connection there." And keep the point brief, I'll go right to the summary. He wanted me to pass on to you his personal note of congratulations and his personal official coin. You might ask, what would a VA vet have with an official coin? Well, it turns out Jane hit your wing headquarters after him. Colonel Retired Leo K. Forceless. And first, this is his card. He was a Congressional Medal of Honor winner, and he was also a prisoner of war. This is a depiction of his Medal of Honor mission in his F-105 HUD, chasing the MiG. And it says to Chief Master Sergeant John Olberding, thank you for your service to our nation. Zeno, Thorsness, GBU, Tailwinds. This is his Congressional Medal of Honor Society coin. You can drop that one in the bar and do fairly. says Leo Thorsness, U.S. retired, U.S. Air Force retired, Vietnam 10, April 1967. Was when he won his Medal of Honor, 92 and a half wild weasel missions. And he had a motto much like yours, do what's right. And he also, 2 weeks later, in another mission, became a prisoner of war. So quite a month for him there. So anyway, congratulations to you for both of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we will make some presentations to Chief Olberding's family. Colonel Edwards, will you please join Chief Olberding center stage? Mr. George Olberding, will you please also join us on stage? Chief Master Sergeant Olberding would like to recognize his parents with the Military Parents Medal. Ms. Olberding could not be with us today. The sacrifice the parent of a military member renders is beyond compare. As a parent, they willingly offer their blessing when the child is compelled to serve their country. If it were not for the military parent through their child's service, America would not enjoy all of the freedoms that exist today. The Military Parent Medal is cast in gold and silver colors, which symbolize how meaningful you are to me. Within the gold center is a compass rose depicting the guidance and direction that you have instilled within me. The two-piece laurel leaf wreath shows your constant offering of love and support for the decisions I have made throughout my life. The raised rippled top edging is indicative of the many opportunities you offer to me. There are 4 stars around the lower half of the silver ring, symbolic of your teachings of duty, honor, integrity, and devotion. In the lower center of the outer ring is a shield for your teachings of traditions and respect for our country. The Military Parent Medal is my way of saying you were then, as now, one of the most important parts of my life. It was your understanding, love, and assurance that enabled me to know what I was accomplishing was important. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you, Mr. Olberding. Ms. Sylvia Olberding, would you please join us on stage? Chief Olberding would like to recognize you with the Military Spouses Medal. And it reads, the spouse does not wear a uniform, yet they serve their country. They do not acquire nor wear ribbons showing where they have been yet, but they go. They did not ask for the duty they perform, yet they unwaveringly serve to the best of their ability. They serve, yet are not honored with trinkets or a piece of cloth showing their service. The burning candle signifies the lonely nights you have spent and that you have kept the house fires burning, a symbol with no beginning and no end. The ring around the candle flame symbolizes the undying flame of love for your spouse. The image of a rose is for the unwavering devotion you have shown for your spouse and their service to the country. This medal is gratefully given to those that do not ask, those that stay on the home front so that their spouse can serve, for they also proudly serve their country. Ms. Olberding also received a certificate of appreciation for her service as a military spouse from the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General Mark A. Welsh, and a letter of appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, James A. Cody. These items will be on display for viewing at the post-ceremony reception. Thank you very much, Ms. Olberding. Mark and Peter, will you please join us on stage? Chief Master Sergeant Olberding would like to recognize both of his boys with the Military Child Medal. Throughout the years of your life, you have made sacrifices and you served your country as much as I have done. In your loving way, you quietly shouldered the heavy burden that you were asked to carry. Most of the time, you could not understand why I was not there, but you quietly hid the tears, courageously put on a smile, and defiantly promised that you would support me. You were then, as now, one of the most important parts of my life, and it was your love that enabled you to assure me that what I was doing was important. I missed so many holidays and countless special occasions while you were left at home to worry while I was on difficult missions. You had to say goodbye to friends when we moved throughout the years, and you had to change schools. Your resilience and self-confidence throughout those frequent moves gave me strength. I am proud of you, for it was your love and support that sustained me in those difficult times. There's no way in my mind that could have been a success in the military without having your support, your understanding, and most importantly, your unquestionable love. Thank you for being there for me. Miss Olberding, will you please join your son center stage? At this time, Chief Olberding would like to make a few presentations.
Okay, so now that I'm retiring or celebrating my success, and that's another job, I'll have a little bit more time to spend some time with boys. Boys, Peter's shown some interest in baseball recently, so we're going to have a chance to throw the ball around. Chief Balance's kids got Peter a whole bucket of balls. Backyard football. Sylvia, our song has been for 22 years. Randy Travis is I'm gonna love you forever. So on this table that matches the other table, it says, "I'm gonna love you forever, never again." Lyrics.
Thank you, Sylvia, Mark, and Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, 9 airmen will now perform a flag passing ceremony in honor of Chief Master Sergeant Olberding. We will take a brief look into the career of Chief Olberding through his chevron progression as the American flag will be passed through each of the ranks Chief Olberding held during his 30-year career.
Stand by. Forward, push. Detail.
After Airman Basic Olberding completed basic military training at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, he reported to Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls, Texas, for technical training in the dental career field. After completing technical school, Airman Basic Olberding reported to his first duty station, Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada. Airman Basic Olberding was promoted to airman. As an airman assigned to the hospital at Nellis Air Force Base, he was assigned duties working dental records and reception. During that time, he completed the 3-volume Career Development Course for Dental Technicians and was awarded his 5 skill level. Airman Olberding was promoted to Airman First Class. Airman First Class Olverding distinguished himself in the dental x-ray section by performing in a self-directed and outstanding manner. His expeditious and courteous handling of patients resulted in him taking over the x-ray department, replacing 2 full-time technical sergeants. Airman First Class Olverding met the in-person Senior Airman below the zone board and was selected to sew on Senior Airman 6 months early. Airman First Class Olverding was promoted to Senior Airman below the zone. Shortly after Senior Airman Olverding was promoted, he was selected to attend the NCO preparatory course, where his performance earned him a Distinguished Graduate Award. Senior Airman Olverding was promoted to Sergeant. Sergeant Olverding was named the Nellis Hospital's NCO of the Quarter and received his first achievement medal prior to leaving Nellis Air Force Base for his first overseas assignment to support the ground-launched cruise missile mission at Florin Air Base, Belgium. The day Sergeant Olverding's plane landed in Belgium, Air Force One was leaving with President Reagan, who had just signed the INF Treaty, thereby closing Florin Air Base and shortening Sergeant Olverding's tour. He reported early to his follow-on tour at Wiesbaden Regional Medical Center in neighboring Germany. Sergeant Olverding was promoted to Staff Sergeant. Staff Sergeant Olverding met an attractive Delta flight attendant during a victory party the medical center sponsored following the First Gulf War. A courtship followed and he married Sylvia at the Wiesbaden courthouse. Staff Sergeant Olverding deployed to Sierra Leone, Africa for a humanitarian mission and received an Air Force Achievement Medal for his actions following a military coup in which he and 80 medics were rescued by Special Forces. As a fitness enthusiast who enjoyed lifting, running, Volks marches in the German forest, and bike rides along the Main River, Staff Sergeant Olverding was asked to lead a morning physical fitness program for Lindsay Air Station. He helped many personnel reverse the effects of German beer and schnitzel on their waistline. At the advice of an Air Force Family Readiness counselor, Staff Sergeant Olverding pursued higher education and completed his Community College of the Air Force degree, a University of Maryland associate's degree in German, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in management. Staff Sergeant Olverding traveled frequently to 5 geographically separated units in Europe, providing dental support with mobile deployable dental chairs and equipment. After the announcement of Wiesbaden's selection for closure, he helped transition the mobile dental support mission to Bitburg Air Base's new mobile dental team. He then helped close Wiesbaden and moved 30 miles down the road to Rhein-Main Air Base, Germany, where he was trained to become a non-commissioned officer in charge of dental logistics. Staff Sergeant Olverding was promoted to Technical Sergeant. Given his background in fitness and logistics, Technical Sergeant Olverding was selected to build the base's first health and wellness center. He and Sylvia bonded as they each completed a master's degree in public administration, completing it just 1 day prior to flying to Tucson for their first assignment to Davis-Monthan. They bought a house in Vail and attended Mass at the Shrine of St. Rita in the desert. They were invited by the priest to help the parish council develop the church's strategic plan and form a building committee for the much-needed larger facility. Tech Sergeant Olverding was selected to attend the NCO Academy at Lackland Air Force Base, where he once again earned a Distinguished Graduate Award. In January of 1999, his first son, Mark, was born at St. Joseph's Hospital. Technical Sergeant Olberding and Sylvia missed their time in Germany, so once he was selected for promotion, and while Sylvia was pregnant with Peter, they put in for orders to Germany. Technical Sergeant Olberding was promoted to Master Sergeant. Master Sergeant Olberding reported to Geilenkirchen NATO Air Base, Germany in April 2001. As the ranking medic, he was dual-hatted as the non-commissioned officer in charge of dental services and the superintendent for the medical flight. His leadership, German language skills, expertise in logistics, and drive were instrumental to the success of the dental mission during a 6-month, $425,000 renovation to the dental clinic, which was the only American-owned building on base. He attended the Senior Non-Commissioned Officers Academy and earned a Distinguished Graduate Award. He was awarded the 2001 and 2004 Outstanding Senior NCO of the Year for Geilenkirchen's 470th Air Base Squadron. He, Sylvia, and the boys enjoyed lots of traveling and skiing while in Europe, but they realized they hadn't been to the Pacific. So, fortunately for them, their next assignment was Yokota Air Base in Tokyo, Japan. Master Sergeant Olberding was promoted to Senior Master Sergeant. Senior Master Sergeant Olberding kept himself busy at Yokota as the superintendent for a squadron of 72 personnel, the team chief for the medical group's contamination, security, and facilities team at a base that exercised almost every other month. He was Yokota's first ever enlisted president for the Air Force Ball. He was the Catholic Parish Council's president. He led 5 13-week-long financial counseling courses, and he still found time to climb Mount Fuji twice, visit Nikko, Misawa, Hiroshima, and ski the Olympic slopes in Nagano. After Japan, it was time for Senior Master Sergeant Olberding to return to the States. His next assignment brought him closer to his home state of Minnesota and his Midwest roots, Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. He led Offutt's clinic to 2 consecutive Air Combat Command Large Dental Clinic of the Year awards. While home on emergency leave for the passing of his youngest sister, Margot, Senior Master Sergeant Olberding received the news that he was selected for promotion to Chief Master Sergeant. With the promotion came a permanent change of station back to the home of the Thunderbirds, Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada. Senior Master Sergeant Olberding is promoted to Chief Master Sergeant.
Ready, face.
Chief Master Sergeant Olberding again led his squadron to excellence as the Nellis Dental Clinic won consecutive Air Combat Command Large Dental Clinic of the Year awards in 2010 and 2011. Ready for a change of career and missing the beauty of the Tucson Desert, Chief Olberding answered an advertisement for the group superintendent position for the 355th Medical Group. He feels very blessed to have served as the medical group superintendent supporting the world's best medics. Desert medics? This flag was first flown on March 6, 2014 on an EC-130J model aircraft at Nellis Air Force Base during a red flag exercise, and flown again on 13 March 2014 on an EC-130 Hercules at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, as a symbol of Chief Olberding's 30-year career, which started at Nellis in 1984 and ended here with the Desert Lightning team. Chief Olberding is presenting this flag to his father in honor of Mr. Olberding's service in the Air Force as an F-100D aerial repair mechanic, and for inspiring Chief Olberding through his example of patriotism. gentlemen, one more round of applause for the men and women at this very special detail. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now present the official retirement orders. Please stand. Colonel Edwards, Chief Oldham.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number AC-009012, effective 31 May 2014. You are relieved from active duty, organization, and station of assignment, and retired effective 1 June 2014 per AFI 36-3203 in the grade of Chief Master Sergeant. Please be seated. Mrs. Overdue, Peter, and Mark, we invite you to join Colonel Edwards on stage for the pinning of the retirement pin. Every retiree receives a special retirement pin as a memento of their active duty service. The retirement pin symbolizes his transition from active duty to retired status. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you Chief Master Sergeant John J. Olberding, United States Air Force, retired.
So let me first start by saying Happy Pi Day. For soon-to-be civilians, we say the date a little bit different. You know, in the military, we say 14 March 2014. As soon-to-be civilians say 3/14, which is the numbers of the constant pi. And that's today. I'm sure my boys wouldn't mind us if we stopped at Village Inn on the way home. Colonel Edwards, I don't know if you got that EPR statement just right. The way I remembered it, it was Sergeant Overding sometimes frustrated with those who are less motivated than him. I'm sure I screwed up the tack work. Colonel Edwards, thank you so much for officiating my retirement ceremony. I'm honored to have been your chief. I want you to know that I've got a deep respect for you, and I'm absolutely excited every time I get to go over and talk to the newcomers and tell them how cool their new commander is. So, Ann, thank you for coming today. Appreciate it. Colonel Williams, thank you for representing Wayne today. I appreciate your leadership today as the MSG commander, and I'm honored to serve with you, sir. Sylvia, Mark, Peter, Gad, Mary, Erica, Lance, Rock, Frank and Marie, Christina and Jim. I'm honored to have family attend this ceremony and to get to see my Air Force family and what they mean to me. Thank you for coming today. Colonel Eaton, Colonel Latini, Colonel Plenty, thanks for your kind words, sir, in the presentation. Colonel Merrill, Colonel Parks, Kevin. What an honor it is to have so many of my former commanders here. Your leadership and support were key to my success. Thank you so much. Doc Finlayson, my friends Eric, Vic, Mark, Ryan, Kevin, Rick, and Elvin, thank you so much for your service. It's been an honor to say that we've served together. Ellen, Lauren, Dan, and Penny, Adina and Rich, Mike, Stacy and Tazi, Steo. Appreciate your friendship, and I'm thrilled that on 1 June, I too will be an official Arizona. Senior Art Center and Anthony, Master Sergeant Blue, and the Desert Medics that helped put this event together, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the hospitality you've shown my family and my friends, and all the effort you put into putting on this ceremony. So I've had plenty of time to think about what I would talk about today. Who would be in the audience? Family, friends, leadership, both past and present, my fellow chiefs, squadron superintendents, top 3, most importantly, the future of the Air Force, our future Air Force leaders. I thought about just thanking everyone, and I thought for sure I'd mess that up, so I scrubbed that idea. I'd forget somebody. And then I thought, I could tell a few war stories, but then I remembered I haven't been to war, so. So I thought, what if I was one of those up-and-coming leaders in the audience? What would I want to hear from a retiring chief of 30 years? So I suppose a few words of advice. Let me start by saying you should know and understand the Air Force's core values. Practice them. Integrity is first. It's first for a reason. It's the most important. Our Air Force Little Blue Book says a person of integrity is capable of acting on conviction and can control impulses and appetites. Integrity covers several moral traits, and they list them in that blue book. Courage, honesty, responsibility, accountability and justice, self-respect and humility. And they further define it for each of those. I grew up under my father's roof, and he taught me that humility was to be the best you could be at whatever you do. So it didn't matter if you're going to be a street sweeper, as long as you were the best you could be as a street sweeper, you were being humble. You didn't have to be the best one out there, but you had to be the best that you could be. I'd like to say that I've applied that to my career, that I've always been the best airman I could be, often not the best, just the best I could be at the time, as evidenced by my 3 and 2-4 EPRs. Our second core value is service before self. And it covers rule following, respect for others, discipline, and self-control, as well as faith in the system. Service before self sounds simple until you realize it covers all these behaviors. As of late, it may be pretty difficult for some of us to have faith in the system. Last year's sequestration issues, the cutbacks, the early separation and retirement, boards that have created a lot of unrest, and perhaps a little distrust of the system. This is when it's particularly challenging to remember that we in uniform serve our country, and that as members of the armed forces, we need to place that service before self. Our nation relies on us and counts on us to put our professional duties over our personal desires. Our third core value of excellence in all we do covers product, service, personal, community, resource, and operational excellence. And in consistently striving for excellence in these areas, I'm sure if you are consistently striving for excellence in all these areas, I'm sure you will be. Achieving excellence in just one of these areas can be challenging enough. But it seems, but in all the areas, it seems like a little bit unsurmountable goal. It is, however, a noble goal, and I tell you that it should be, that you should set goals of excellence and not perfection. It's okay to make a mistake. Learn from that and move on. It's all a part of being excellent. Don't allow the expectation of excellence to consume your life, which leads me to my next point. Don't let the Air Force be your life. You have to have other interests. I can't say that I've always been a shining example of this, but in hindsight, man, I've done some really cool things in the Air Force that I would have never done if I had gotten a job in local Minnesota and spent the last 30 years there. As you heard in the passing the flag, I got to climb Mount Fuji twice, and ski Nagano, Japan, Hintertux and St. Anton, Austria. I legally got to pass a police officer doing 150 miles an hour in the Autobahn. I've had some great wines, some better beers, some awesome schnitzel, sushi. I've traveled to Berlin just as the wall was falling in November of 1989. I've saunaed in the European style on the roof of a hotel across from a monastery as the church bells are ringing, and you let the steam billow off of you into the snow-covered starlit night. I've been ATV riding up in the White Mountains on 100-mile routes. I've lived in Las Vegas twice. I can't tell you what happened there because they have a policy. I've treated patients in Sierra Leone, Africa, feared for my life and the life of my fellow airmen on a ferry as we headed into Freetown and experienced hostile gunfire and mortar fire. It was a coup, not a war. I came home and ordered a pizza, and it came right to my door, and it was hard to grasp the concept of seeing how others lived in that third world nation, but wow, did it ever give me an appreciation for all I have in life and enjoy. So I encourage you to volunteer to go see the world at the government's expense, but realize that they're not going to build a memorial to you for all your hard work and extra hours that you put in. So have other interests and make sure that your priorities provide you a balanced life. My final point of advice today is to be the bigger person. I know what you're thinking. Easy for you to say, Chief, you're 6'4", 250, right? Well, let me tell you, although some of the bigger persons I know are also big in stature, like my dad, my brothers, Lance and Rob, I'm not at all talking about stature. I'm talking about their character. I'm talking about faith and doing right. By being the bigger person, you will not only gain the respect of others, but you will live a life with a clean conscience, which frees your mind and soul for growth and success. If you practice integrity and service before self, you will be better able to focus on that excellence. Our dad taught us that character through his faithfulness. Our dad taught us character through his faithfulness to our mother, to his parents, to his siblings, to his children, and the Catholic faith. I'd like to close by saying thank you. Thank you, Dad, for your outstanding example of excellence. Thank you, everyone, for coming today to see my family off into the wild blue yonder. I'm so proud to have served 30 years in the world's greatest Air Force and had the opportunity to end my tour here at Davis-Monthan with the Air Force's best Marines. Wheels up, Colonel Edwards.
Thank you, Chief Overding. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue standing and join us in singing the Air Force song. Please remain in place until the opening party and the Chief's family have been escorted out of the theater.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sun. Here we come, soon to meet our thunder. Adam boys, give it a gun, give it a gun. Down we dive, starting our flames from under. Off with one.